Great. And this is Senate Institutions. It's Friday, April 11th. I'm Senator Rob Plunkett. I'm the Vice Chair of Institutions. I'll be running the meeting today. We do have Chair Harrison with us by Zoom. And we will be hearing from the Vermont Veterans Home today regarding Section 6 of the Capitol Bill. We'll also be hearing from the Vermont Military Department regarding Section 11 of the Capitol Bill. And finally, we hear from the Department of Corrections about their recommendations. So, but right now we're hearing from the Vermont Veterans Home from my town. So we have the three of you. So go ahead and start with your presentation. Whoever wants to go first, in whatever order you want to go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Melissa Jackson. I am the CEO of the Vermont Veterans Home. With me today is Greg Kruzan, Director of Facilities. He will most likely be answering most of your questions as he's our subject matter expert. And I have Stephen McClafferty, our Finance Director, with us. For this coming fiscal year, we have two requests in the capital budget. The first is for $420,000 to redo our laundry facilities. Currently, excuse me. Our laundry facilities sits on the second floor of one of the older buildings here on our property. And we are in need of new washers and dryers, and that area of that building is not structurally sound to put new washers and dryers. So in addition to purchasing the new washers and dryers, we need to relocate the laundry room. So right now we have a quote of close of $68,000 for equipment. Obviously, with this ever moving target of tariffs, that could be a moving target. So I don't know how hard and fast that number is going to be when it comes time to purchase that. And I'm going to defer to Greg to talk a little bit about the design and process and where we are in terms of relocating the cost, what the cost might be for relocating the laundry room. So Greg, if you want to address that with any updated information you might have.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Greg Kruzan, Director of Environmental Services here at the Vermont Veterans Home. So with the laundry room area, we have two proposed sites. One is off of our B wing courtyard area. That would be the best suited area for one, ergonomics, and two, it's centralized with the building so everybody could go to each wing very easily. It'll bring up a little more return on laundry and other facility cleaning that needs to be done. That structure would be a slab on grade with proposed let's see, we got three washer machines and three dryers for that area, which is reduced from our current 4 units of each that are oversized for our needs. This will greatly reduce our expenses on energy, from electrical to water and gas to operate in there. Plus, it keeps our employees busy. They'll be able to continuously change out laundry and not do major loads or half loads. So that building, I figured it would be about 2,500 square foot. That area would consist of 2 exterior walls connecting to the building on both the east and west side of the facility. Flat roof like the rest of the facility. In there would be obviously the sprinkler system needs to be put in, and also some ventilation. There will be a folding station area in the back, which would be separate from the actual laundry facility area to keep our cleans nice and neat and orderly and lint free. The other section would be a chemical storage area for their laundry chemicals. That's quite the simple build on that one. The second area of location would be off of the back of East Wing, which would be where our smoking room is, out on the green space out there. That would be a three-sided facility build, slab on grade, and same flat roof. The cost would probably be a little bit higher if we went that route, just because we're adding an additional wall space in there. And then we'd have to relocate the smoking room for the residents here to another section. So we'd have to create a new area for them. Again, that is another centrally located area at grade level. Right now, they are transporting laundry up graded ramps, quite the distance to the backside of the building, which was wearing out our carts and wearing out our employees. And that the area that it's in right now is a very old section. The washers and dryers right now, the vibration is basically tearing that building apart. Structurally, it's starting to become deficient. So that's really where the big push is to get the laundry moved, and we won't have any more problems. We'd utilize that old space as storage for beds and different other items for the residence itself. I haven't gotten the full estimate back for that second area of build. Still waiting for the engineer to get back to me on the overall and a design on it.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Any questions on that before I move to our next request?
Yeah, you're still asking for the 420,000. And the House had reduced that by 80,000. You're aware of that before we got the bill?
Nope, but I'm aware of that now.
Okay, so yeah, we at least over from the House, it's 340,000. And in terms of the I know you don't have the estimate on the second one, but what's the rough cost of the two areas? I'll call them A and B. So what if you did it in the two wall place, how much is that?
The two wall structure, which would be ideal location A, that's the 420, and then B would be probably an additional 50, about 40 to 50,000 added onto that.
Okay. And does the 420 include the appliances, or is that an additional?
That does not, but I'm hoping that we can squeeze that into the overall build if deemed necessary.
Okay. At least right now, your estimate for the bill is minimum 420.
Correct.
Okay.
Till I put it out for an RFP or whatever for bids, I don't know.
Okay. And you have the other line item, which I guess we can ask afterwards about the two, but if you jump into that one, unless anyone else has any other questions about the laundry facility.
So our next request is for HVAC air handler replacements. As you may be aware, we have a very extensive geothermal system here. We have some air handlers that are at the end of their useful life, as well as an issue around a change in glycol due to EPA requirements. So there is approximately 55 units that need to be replaced. That is the extent of my knowledge on this project. So again, I'm going to defer back to Greg so he can give you more of the specifics. Thank you, Greg.
Okay, no worries. So in that those are actually heat pumps. They're not air handlers, but the heat pump systems, there's 6 full ceiling units, and then the rest are all wall units, which are basically self-contained. No exterior condenser units to be placed. Those would be pulled. The existing ones would be pulled because of the R22 refrigerant that's in them. We can't get the refrigerant anymore to work on these, nor the parts. And we have many of them that are pretty much either at life's end or they have actually completely died completely. So we'd be pulling those out, replacing them in kind. There might be a little bit of carpentry work to retrofit them, but it should be a fairly easy install on that. Now for the glycol, I have an estimate that just came in from Atlantic Sprinkler System that our sprinkler heads need to be replaced on the B and C wing. I'm getting a grand total price on that. That's a little bit better than what he gave me, just kind of off the cuff price of 210,000 to replace those. But the glycol that's in there in the lines on those two wings has aged out, and the new EPA standard has to be for this new updated glycol put in, because what's in there now is basically a weatherization fluid when it comes down to it. It's kind of like RTV antifreeze versus good, clean glycol, so a non-toxic chemical. So that I actually have the price on that. That's about $9,800 for them to pump that out and put the new material in, and he's pretty firm on the price on that. So I'd like to be able to do these systems that need to be done all in one to get a little bit better price than patch, piecemealing the job out, having them come back several times to do each individual part.
Yeah, and then what's for that whole project, what is your original request was 730,000, is that still the same?
For material costs, the installs for those units, that will be able to be put into that. The sprinkler head replacements, though, that's not included in this because this is something that just came out of the air for new inspections that need to be done. Basically, sprinkler heads are 50-year max out, and we're getting to be between 47 and 50 years right now on certain areas. So that would be a sprinkler heads change out would be separate than this heat pump replacement. So this $700,000 price will be able to do the work, buy all the parts, and get everything up to date on that end.
Okay, and you said 700,000, is that the amount?
That's what we're looking for, is that was it 720 or 740? We're trying to do as best as we can to do a lot of it in-house without hiring contractors to reduce that cost.
Gotcha. So this project you're talking about right now, does it fall under the description of replacement of air handlers? Because that's what we have in our language.
Um,
I think it says phase out and air handler, phase out of the air handlers.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bill.
Okay.
Yeah, so that when we changed out these heat pumps, as I said, the EPA standard is the old units are R22 refrigerant. We cannot get that anymore. So if we went down, we can't do anything with those. We'd have to replace them for the new 410 or 514 refrigerant that is needed. So we'd have to update. We wouldn't be able to just repair these. That refrigerant is obsolete. We can't even buy it.
So,
The term
go ahead.
air handlers came from me because I misunderstood what
Yeah.
Greg was saying. So it's the same project, wrong terminology used.
So just to explain, air handlers move air, and heat pumps will do AC and heat. So they have a built-in compressor system that will convert the refrigerant to hot air and when needed, or cold air when needed.
So give me, bear with me. Does anyone else have a question?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
So you have,
Chris, then I'll talk.
so you had, the original governor's request was 730 for the phase out of the air handlers and 420 for the expansion of the laundry facility. And now, so at the 730 governor's request, they've got you, the House has put you at 710, and they put you at 340 for the expansion of the laundry facilities. It sounded like you were surprised at the 340, but typically what happens is testimony, former testimony usually will let them make that decision of reducing that. But you're getting less even on the air handler project as well. Is that a surprise to you as well? They've got you at 710 versus a 730.
It is, but we did have a discussion in that committee that there was the potential of having some language that it would allow us to be a little fluid with those dollars. So if, by chance, the stars aligned and tariffs were good, one project came in lower than the other, we could move money back and forth to do both of those projects. So that may have been where the dollar reduction came from.
If you're you're $100,000 less than what you had requested for both those projects.
Right. That may be a tight squeeze. So Steve, Greg, and I will be discussing this after we're done with you guys as to what might have to be cut. And
Well, it sounds like the original requests are still what your requests are, and the language for moving between the money between the projects did come out of the House, so that is in the bill as it came to us. My question was, my question was going to be, and this might be in the House committee, but do you have some written description of these projects so we can make sure that, and frankly, even if you have an estimate too, so that we can have that both for our committee site, but also to make sure that the language covers what you need so that it won't be restricted for whatever it is that you're doing. Because I'm not sure if the sprinkler heads could necessarily fit into description we have right now.
Yes, we can get that to you. And I apologize. We had our VA survey this week unannounced, so was only able to get my presentation to you, but we will make sure we get you guys something in writing. We know how important that is for you to have that. So we'll have that by early next week.
And Senator Harrison, did you have?
A follow up to what you just said. So you referenced sprinkler heads. Are those intended to be part of the air handler replacement or the R22 replacement, or is that completely different?
That's a different project. I thought we were aware that we might try to go for that, but that's kind of irrelevant at this topic right now.
Okay. So there is, and so the glycol is that related to the heat pumps?
Some heat pumps will require glycol in the actual roof or ceiling mount ones.
Okay. And then the House added design and construction for renovation of the American unit. Yeah. Could that be part of what you're speaking about? That wouldn't be until FY26. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the same year. It's just but with cash as its source.
I don't
or
know. Or
have you just not started talking about that with us yet? The American unit.
The American Wing, no, that was going to be my next conversation.
Okay. Okay, so that's not included in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before we move to the American project, the HVAC replacement project for the heat pumps, even though I called it air handlers to confuse everybody, is eligible for potential VA reimbursement back to the state. So as a state veterans home, projects over $400,000, capital projects, I can apply to the VA for what they call a state home construction grant, where the VA will pay 65% of the project and the state would pay 35% of the project. The problem right now is there's over $1.6 billion worth of projects on that list, and they only have given $185 million towards that project. What I've done in the past, and this committee has been very gracious, it was with our mold project, is they funded the entire project And when we finally received the reimbursement for the mold project, we returned the money to the state. So I will be applying for this grant money for this project, but I have no idea when we would receive it. But I do know that Chairwoman Emmons was talking about making sure there was language in the capital bill that any VA funding we receive for these projects would be returned to the capital bill. So we will be looking for federal funding to help offset the cost. Just not sure when we're going to get it.
Okay, that's helpful. And so, would you ask for that funding for the more expensive, the project at the American Unit?
Yeah. So the same thing is we would
Okay.
apply, the 1.5 million is to cover the design work. So American Way is a 30-bed unit, that is currently offline, was built, I think in the late 60s, early 70s. It's a slab on grade. And our biggest issue with that is that it is cast iron pipes in concrete and the pipes are failing. And in order for us to do any type of work, it would be jackhammering. And it has been determined that the best way to fix this is to do a complete and total tear down and rebuild. So we need to do design work. And then we would definitely be going to the VA and asking for the 65-35 match. And that project wouldn't start till we knew that we had the 65% match from the VA. But for life safety reasons, we cannot put residents in that area of the building. So we're asking for the $1.5 million to do the design work so we can put an actual product out to bid to get really hard dollars. In the past, we've done it the reverse and have come up short. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
And Greg, you had said that the sprinklers are, not important right now, but when you send us the names of the projects and the estimates for it, can you include that as well? So that we can
Yes.
take a look at that and see what we have. And thank you for the explanation on the reimbursement from the VA. I'm gonna look, I'm trying to see if it's in the bill, the reimbursement, I think it is.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we've used this quite often in the 15 years that I've been here. Anytime we can leverage that money, I apply for it.
And what was the match? You said it was 60%?
At 65%, the federal government will reimburse if the state does the 35%. So
Any other questions on this? Do you have anything more you want to share with us?
life is good here at the Vets Home. I wanted just to share that on the quality side, we have received the Bronze National Quality Award. It's given nationally. We were one of 2 nursing homes in the state of Vermont to be recognized by U.S. News and World Report for both our best in class for long-term and short-term care. And 2 of our staff members were invited to London, England last fall to present on our Namaste program that started here. They presented at the International Namaste program. And as I mentioned, we just completed our VA survey and they found 1 minor paperwork issue and 1 small care issue after being here for 5 very intensive days. So, and I strongly encourage you guys to come visit anytime, nights, weekends, holidays. I'll be more than happy to show you around. It's hard to encompass our 84 acres and our 140,000 square feet of life via Zoom. So you're welcome anytime.
Senator Agnes?
Can you just remind us about how many folks that you have there as far as that you're caring for?
Yeah, so with our 30 beds offline, we can have a max nursing home census of 100. We're at 88 today. And then we have our 8-bed assisted living, which is at 7. We still have a few World War II vets. Our oldest is 100, checks in with me every day, keeps me on my toes, has coffee with Steve quite regularly. Our youngest is 55, and most of our vets right now are predominantly Vietnam veterans. So,
And what is do you have a waiting list?
yes, we have a very extensive waiting list. Last time I looked, it was about 45.
And as far as the requirements to get in there, what condition do they have to be in before you can accept that?
So they have to, for the nursing home, they have to have what's called 3 activities of daily living needs. So they need either help with bathing, dressing, medication management, or moving around. Our DOM is a little less intensive. They just need maybe some supervision. That's fairly independent living. But most importantly, our DOM, which is our residential care, is veterans only, and our nursing home is veterans, their spouses, and Gold Star parents.
Thank you. Thank you for what you all do. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you. We appreciate your time as well. You know, you guys are very busy up there.
Yeah, before you go, I wanted to mention, I met with Michael Fernandez over the weekend about Veterans Incubator Farm, which is very exciting to me. He told me that he's working pretty closely with you. So I'm also on the ag committee with 2 of the other senators here. So it's something that we had talked about. So
Senator Major and Senator Engel, since he doesn't want to mention our names,
that's
2 other senators. Just 2 other people in the room.
Senator
okay.
Major from Winston, Senator Russ Ingles from
Yep.
Essex Orleans. Essex. Just Essex, not Essex Orleans. I heard both today.
Yeah.
I just gotta.
Yeah,
Correct.
we're very,
But-
very excited about that program and that collaboration. You know, knowing a lot of veterans who have utilized farming as a treatment for PTSD and how successful it's been for them to come off their medications. This was just when Michael presented this to us and the board, it was just a perfect partnership. So we are really excited to be partnering with them. And he was just here a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about chicken coops and where the compost pile's going. So more to come.
Yeah, he
That's
approved that.
great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I may sooner rather than later get in touch. I'm a veteran as well, and I may sooner rather than later get in touch with you to make the trek from White River Junction, the hour and 45-minute trek from White River Junction.
Make sure you check with Senator Plunkett first.
Yes,
I'll be happy to come up and pick you up and drive you back.
that'd be wonderful.
Anytime.
I'm
like I
on the
said.
way. I'll join you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
And our agenda doesn't have, it has the military coming at 2:30, so. I think for now, we'll go